In previous videos, I've shown the unboxing, free air flex, also this in a Gately subwoofer enclosure, the KICKER L7X Solo X subwoofer, but we recently had an issue. It got shrunk. That's right, the original woofer we had got shrunk down to the size of a keychain, so we had to get another one from KICKER.
This is not a Mickey Mouse program!
Before we get to that, let's talk about this GP Audio TrueSpec Elite prefab enclosure for the KICKER Solo X subwoofer, currently priced at $369.99. That does include shipping. This is one of the lower price alternatives for the pre-made KICKER L7X enclosures. This one measures 30 inches by 20 inches by 16.5 inches. Millimeter equivalents are there as well. This 72-pound prefab is built to KICKER specs, including 3 cubic feet of internal volume, also tuned to 31 hertz. The MDF enclosure includes internal bracing as well as a double front baffle for mounting the woofer. Check a link in the video description. You may be able to win this subwoofer and enclosure, as well as an amplifier, a wiring kit, and more. Just check the video description for more details. Now let's unbox this subwoofer enclosure and find out what it's all about. In addition to the subwoofer enclosure, GP Audio threw in some additional items here in the box, including Big 3 wiring kit, also some mounting rings, or I guess you call them mounting squares for the new KICKER Street Series mid-range. Then we have some heat shrink here, custom with the Wilson Audio logo, very sweet, and a t-shirt for TrueSpecBox.com. Speaking of box, here is the TrueSpec Elite enclosure from GP. And you can see there the cutout for the L7X 12-inch subwoofer. You can also see the construction, and we're going to do a fly-in. Get ready, here we go. Whoa! You can see the 45-0 on the corner, some additional bracing. Again, this is 3/4 inch MDF, but the front is double thickness for mounting your woofer, and it has another thickness there for flush mounting. So it looks really cool when you have the woofer mounted. And again, this is part of the TrueSpec Elite from GP Car Audio. Now for the fun part, let's get the subwoofer wired up and mounted into the enclosure so we can do some testing. Now again, this is the L7X 12-inch subwoofer. At the time of this video, this was the only one available. I asked KICKER for a dual 2-ohm sub so we could wire it to 1 ohm, and they had the brilliant idea, well, hey, let's give this one away. It's already signed by Steve Irby. So again, check the link in the video description. If you catch it in time, you might be able to enter, you might be able to win this whole setup, which is very cool. In order to get the 1 ohm final resistance, we wired it in parallel, positive to positive, negative to negative, and these subwoofers have really nice connections, so you have easy way to connect up your speaker wires. Then we're going to drop it here into the box, and watch them fingers. The 60-pound subwoofer will take them off if you're not careful. After a little ka-cha here, we will get the holes pre-drilled, and we'll go ahead and mount the woofer with wood screws. Here we have the woofer mounted in the box. Now I'm going to show you some demos here on the bench and some flex action, but I will let you know this woofer was tried out for at least a week in the vehicle. We did several different tests that aren't shown on the video here to break in the woofer, as you guys have asked before. Make sure you break in the woofer. So I'm breaking it in, but let's go ahead and show you a little flex here on the bench. If anybody can pick out that song by the beat, leave it in the comments below. Now, thing that's important to note, this is not an SPL Burt box, not an SPL vehicle, did not do any SPL tricks. Test with music, not tones. Also, less than 3,000 watts provided by this Down4Sound JP23 V2. We have shown this amplifier before. Dyno runs, it did well over 3,000 watts at 1 ohm, but you have to remember, when you put this subwoofer in an enclosure, or any subwoofer in an enclosure in a vehicle, you're going to have what's called impedance rise. So probably around 2 to 3 ohms is what we're going to see for rise with this, but it's going to be all over the place because we are going to be playing back music. Now, speaking of music, let's do some SPL tests. Sealed up, meter on the windshield. Here we go. All right, we're in the Sequoia. We do have the SSA meter here on the dash. All the doors and windows are closed up. Let's try the woofer test. Almost a 140, 139.52 on music. Unfortunately, the AMM1 was out for upgrade, so I won't be able to show the true power output here. But let's keep testing. Let's let the driver's window down. Meter's still in the windshield. All right, now we're in the garage with the door closed, but we actually have the driver's window open. Let's try some 3 kinds of bass with the KICKER L7X in the GP box. All right, got a solid 140.71 that time, but let's keep trying. Let's try that woofer test again, this time with the driver's window down. Driver's window down gave us a little bit of boost here, 140.62 at 41 hertz. Now let's take that meter, throw it in the passenger side kick panel, try some more tests here. I guess you could say we're kicking it up with the kicker in the kick panel. Roll that beautiful beam footage. All right, SPL meter is in the kick panel. We're going to try 3 kinds of bass. Driver's window is down. $141.44 at 38 hertz. Not too bad, but let's kick it up a notch. Meter still in the kick. Driver's window is down. Let's try the woofer test. It's not bad, 142.26 at 43 hertz. Man, you can definitely feel it. It is kicking. All right, there you have the test. Now let's move on to the pros and cons of this GP Audio True Spec Elite Enclosure. First up, reasonable price, $370 shipped to your door for a 72-pound enclosure is not bad. It does have a very thick front baffle with a lot of internal bracing. It matches KICKER specifications for the ported enclosure. High power handling. It does sound great with this speaker in there, and absolutely plays below 40 hertz. Now for the cons, I have to get a little picky. It is an unfinished enclosure, so you can either carpet it yourself or paint it or rhino line it, whatever you want to do. It doesn't include threaded inserts or mounting hardware. Also, there's no terminal for the speaker wire, so we'll have to determine how you're going to get the speaker wire outside the enclosure. Once again, thanks to KICKER for sending the sub, also to GP for sending the subwoofer box. Both are being given away, so I'm not keeping them, but you guys check the link in the video description, see how to win it. Till next time, this is Big D. I'm out of here. I'm not sure why, but I'm fascinated by 6.5-inch subwoofers, and if you guys like them, make sure you stay tuned. I am going to do some further tests here in the future with a bunch of different models using this GP enclosure.